we hope to take the majority in the Hong Kong's legislature to prove that we represented the voice of silent majority, especially under the crackdown from national security law, how we continue hope to be the lawmaker to receiving people mandates, let our voice as Hong Kongers being heard around the world and stop the brutal crackdown by Hong Kong riot police.
But you may in fact be ruled ineligible, as I mentioned, to stand because particularly if you refuse to pledge to uphold Hong Kong's basic law.
I pledge to uphold Hong Kong basic law since last year's election, but Beijing still barred me to run for office and censor me out from the ballot. With such political censorship, even I pledge to uphold basic law, they will still find different kind of excuse to disqualify me. But I just hope to let the world to know that now it's Beijing who show no respect to the Hong Kong's mini constitution basic law.
But hang on, does that include upholding those new security laws that Beijing has imposed on the city?
Upholding the basic law doesn't mean that Hong Kong pro-democratic can have any endorsement on the national security law that violate on international standard. We're recognizing the existence of the mini constitution, but it doesn't mean that we need to recognize and endorse the national security law that will just extradite us to China, send us to the black jail in Beijing, or even facing the risk of life sentencing.
What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Do you think you have enough support there to get that majority? Mind you, thinking at the same time, will Beijing let that happen?
More than 600,000 Hong Kong's voters vote in the Democratic camp primary election and trust my political belief and continue to fight for freedom. With the threat, I would say that it could not defeat me and just make me even stronger determination. And now is the time for us to keep our momentum, no matter protest on street, advocacy on global community, or election. Our vote is our voice to the world.
When you say protests on the street, is that going to be allowable in the next few months?
Beijing will not allow any kind of protest, election, and they will just hope to stop and crack down all of the activities that support freedom and democracy. But just like more than 100,000 Hong Kongers took to the street on July 1st of this year, I still have hope and trust on Hong Kongers.
Yeah, so how are you going to make your message heard if you can't get out in the street and protest?
With more than 100,000 people took to the street 3 weeks ago, with more than 600,000 people vote in the primary election to have the protest vote last week, I am still optimistic we can let the world to know that we should not surrender to Beijing.
Joshua Wong, thanks very much for joining us.